Welcome to this video showcasing the Margo interoperability via a prototype implementation running Rockwell Automation's FactoryTalk Optix app on a Siemens Industrial Edge device. I'm Silvio, heading the marketing team responsible for Industrial Edge at Siemens.
Hi, I'm Bart Newborg, a Senior Program Manager in the Open Architecture team of Rockwell Automation.
Hi, I'm Silvano Cirujano Cuesta. I'm Senior Key Expert at Siemens, working in the Margo project. I'm presenting the technical details of the Rockwell and Siemens collaboration under the Margo umbrella.
Siemens is collaborating with industry peers through the Margo initiative to establish a universal open source standard that ensures seamless interoperability between edge devices and applications. This shared commitment aims to simplify digital transformation for manufacturers by creating a more flexible, ecosystem-driven environment where software can run reliably across diverse multi-vendor hardware. The Margo ambition matches perfectly to what the Siemens Industrial Edge system is delivering: comprehensive edge computing system that seamlessly integrates hardware, securely manages connectivity and data, and finally enables flexible software deployment. This builds the bridge between OT and IT teams, boosts innovation cycles, and is ready to integrate with other vendors' solutions.
Good. So let me walk you through the step one. The first step is about packaging and publishing the app. So our FactoryTalk Optix app will first actually need to be instrumented in a Margo way so that it can be observed, so that the health can be monitored at a later point once it is deployed at scale at the industrial user. So once the instrumentation has been added to the app is then packaged in a Margo-conform way. And this app package is then going to be published in a container repository, in Rockwell Automation's container repository, that has a standardized interface, a Margo API interface, allowing for any workload fleet manager that is Margo conform to come and collect and take the necessary artifacts to start the deployment cycle.
Let's have a look to step 2, register app. Having this software package ready, complying with Margo standards, in step 2 it now can be registered by importing into the workload fleet manager. In this case, the Siemens Industrial Edge Management System, IEM, which can manage apps and devices in cloud and on-prem. While in this case the app has been sideloaded manually, it could also be provided much more scalable via repositories and public marketplaces. In any case, the FactoryTalk Optix application is now available in the Industrial Edge Management app catalog and ready to be deployed to any compliant device. The actual deployment is performed in step 3, and secure updates are handled via the same mechanism. Within the Industrial Edge Management, the user selects a device target from his fleet to deploy FactoryTalk Optix onto the selected device. Finally, in step 4, the app is up and running, ready to use on the Siemens Industrial Edge device. To ease operations, we can also use Margo telemetry interfaces to monitor the application state in a dedicated dashboard. The whole workflow is no rocket science. Silvano now shows us what really happens behind the scenes using the actual system.
So what we see on the left-hand side is a web browser showing the Industrial Edge Management. That's the application being used to remotely install applications on an Industrial Edge device. Here we have an Industrial Edge device. It's a virtual device where we're going to see the app being installed and configured. Here we can see we don't have yet any app provision on the Industrial Edge Management, and here nothing installed. We're going to look here at a Margo application definition file. So we have started defining the application as a Margo application, and that's why we have created this file, because it provides us couple of information. Some of them are just made up data, like we don't have an author or email contact of the author. So we just took something that sounds reasonable, but it should be replaced by the correct one. And then we have a reference here to the Docker Compose file providing the application. Industrial Edge requires a Docker Compose to describe the composition of the application into different containers. So let's have a look at the Compose. So in the Compose, we have, this is the application container. Then we have telemetry collector that it's gonna make the telemetry data available to Prometheus or Grafana to show them. And well, this is something specific that we have needed due to Industrial Edge way of managing configuration files. I'm not gonna get into this, but it's a container needed for that purpose. And we have the volumes used by this container to distribute the configurations to all the other services. So what we have needed here is to specify a platform to make sure that we create an application for the right architecture and some memory limits of the application. The rest is standard, what we got provided from Rockwell. And we have some ports been exposed and some configurations that should help the telemetry collector to fetch the telemetry data. The telemetry collector, we have something very similar, the platform, memory, and in this case, the ports are not being configured over environment variables, but over a configuration file that in the initial installation is not gonna be provided. That's why we won't have any telemetry data. And then we have Prometheus, pretty much the same as we have mentioned before, the architecture, memory here. And in this case, we also need some specific configurations for Prometheus to work as expected. And we have Grafana, also the same architecture, memory. We need here much more than in the others. We are specifying a list of dashboards, and we are describing what in those dashboards is included, and that's what we need here in these volumes as configuration. Let's start first. Here we have a terminal because most of it has been recording in scripts that makes the whole process much easier to reproduce. Only in the end, I'm showing how it can be configured the application so that we have open telemetry data or telemetry data being extracted from the application where the application is publishing telemetry data that are being collected by an open telemetry collector and distributed to other consumers. And I'm gonna show first the application without any configuration. So those open telemetry data are not being collected anywhere. And then after configuration, then they can be seen. So let's start with just reinstalling the application from scratch. Let's start it. Well, we need to get some tokens first, and then it should run. Okay, so it first we can see here, creates a project and an application. I have obtained this icon from the product website. And in here, we're gonna get a new version of the application. So now it's has created version 001 and it's providing it to the industrial edge management. We can see now we move forward. So we have now the application is on the industrial edge management. It can be installed. We can see now we move forward. So we have now the application is on the industrial edge management. It can be installed. And that's in fact what is happening right now. We can see it here. It started installing it. It will take a while. And we're gonna wait for it to be done. We have here just a loop waiting, so checking regularly the status, if it's pending or executing, or sorry, if it's not pending or executing. So currently it's executing, so it's fine. We're gonna just wait for it to be done. Okay, now it's done. After 11 minutes. The whole process is done. So I'm gonna maximize now the screen, the web browser, to show the rest, because from this point on the terminal is not needed anymore. So let's make it bigger. Okay. So now we should see here the application exactly installed. Here also installed. Perfect. Now let's see here. Yeah, we have the application running. Okay, so variables is 0. We have, let's refresh here. We have here Prometheus. We can ask Prometheus to show us some metrics. And if we say, please give us if the optics. Oh, no metrics. That's what I mentioned before. So no telemetry data is being collected. That's why Prometheus cannot show here anything. And we have also here, we can log in here to Grafana. And we realize that we don't have any dashboards. So we go here and then we say update configuration. And then we need to select the files that we need for the configuration. Let's select them. This one is this one. And done. Okay, and we are gonna ask for the application to be restarted to make sure that the new configuration gets applied. And then we have here now the process is running. Here we can refresh. Okay, follow the process, the progress, sorry. Okay, and there it is. So we have now the new configuration has been applied. We can see it here. I haven't shown it before, but I could have shown before that the configuration files, these configuration files were not in place. This one, and here we have so some of them were already present, but we have added these two also here. Okay, so let's move on now to the application. It's been refreshed, variable 0. Let's see Prometheus, if it can show us now any metrics from the application, and we enter FT up. Okay, let's refresh it. Now we have it. The optics, we can say here, show me this variable one, metrics, execute it, and show me a graph. And it's a bit difficult to see, but we have here already we are getting some values. Let's increase this variable number so that we can see something in here, and let's get a closer look. So 15 minutes, and here we can see how this value has changed. We can go here to the dashboard, to Grafana, sorry. We need to log in again. Okay, and now we can see some dashboards being offered, and we go to demo and look at this. We have here the variable changes being shown. So we can move on here, increasing this number 28, and this will also raise up after some time because collecting that information. There we go. This telemetry information here, we need to get it somehow refreshed. And there we go. Also the increment, we can get it back to something like 1. And then here we will have also drop down. Here you can see to 1, and here also drop down to 1.
With this experiment, we have demonstrated the feasibility of adopting the Margo standard to deploy, run, and monitor a Rockwell Automation app on a Siemens Industrial Edge device. While we took some shortcuts in this prototype, we have proven that Margo can enable an interoperable, automated, and scalable lifecycle management of apps in a multi-vendor world.